Hi, this is Sefla America TV USA. Today on special occasion on Labor Day, we have IPLO, International Labour Organization, Country Director, Mr. Gay Thompson. Hi, Mr. Thompson, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you so much.
Very complete on this occasion. Mr. Thompson, how long have you been served in Pakistan, and what is your primary goal over here?
Well, I've been director of the ILO country office for Pakistan since January 2023, and this is now my fourth year in the country. And let me also take the occasion to wish you a happy Labour Day.
Thank you. What are the main challenges in implementing Pakistan labour laws, and how is the ILO helping to bridge these gaps?
Well, the ILO works in Pakistan with both the government, with employers' organizations, and with workers' organizations to implement a decent work country program, which we signed in 2023 and which runs until 2027. And in that program, we have identified 4 big areas of collaboration. One is around employment creation and jobs creation. One is around social protection, particularly for workers in the informal sector. The third is the ratification and implementation of international labour conventions. And the fourth is occupational safety and health in the workplace. So we work together with our partners to implement projects and programs that respond to those 4 big priorities.
Okay. Does the ILO directly influence Pakistan labour policies, or is your role strictly advisory?
Well, one of the priorities of ILO in Pakistan, as in other countries where we work, is to promote ratification and implementation of ILO's labour conventions. And once a country ratifies an ILO labour convention, then the laws of that country will change to comply with the provisions of the labour conventions. So in that sense, we try to influence policy making and also lawmaking so that national laws can meet the standards of international labour conventions. And last year, in 2025, Pakistan ratified, as we say, 3 ILO instruments, and accordingly they changed national laws so that the laws can meet the provisions of those conventions. But in addition to this work, which is very much at a policy and legal level, we work more downstream, as we say, directly with enterprises to make them more productive, more competitive. And we also work, for example, in the cotton fields, where we try to combat child labour and other forms of unacceptable work. So our work spans both the policy level, the legal level, and also the more grassroots level.
Okay, my last question. What are your top priorities for youth employment and increasing women's participation in the workforce?
Well, youth is a particular priority for us because in Pakistan today, you find a very young population. There are many young women and men who are slowly entering the age where they would join the labour market. And currently there are not enough jobs, as it were, for everyone. And many young people do not find opportunities to join employment, education or training, and thereby they become NEETs, as we call them, not in education, employment or training. And for us it's important to ensure that there are measures in place that can give young people the necessary skills to enter the labour market, provide youth with opportunities to join enterprises, start their own business perhaps, and also for many young people, travelling abroad for work is an option, and we are also working to ensure that labour migration is safe and fair, and that there is also something waiting for the migrant workers when they return to Pakistan. So for young people, that is very much our priority, as well as to make sure that they have skills that enable them to meet the demands of the future labor market, because things change. Pakistan is, for example, transitioning to a more green economy, and it's important that workers have skills in areas that are emerging in that respect. Green jobs, environmentally friendly jobs. And then there's also the whole development of artificial intelligence, and that also requires different skills so that we can correctly, strategically and intelligently use artificial intelligence at work. You also mentioned women, and unfortunately Pakistan has a very low labor force participation rate of women, one of the lowest in the region. And we are also trying to work with our partners to make workplaces more inclusive, more diverse. We are examining what measures can be taken to encourage more women to enter the labor market. And we believe that by making workplaces safer, by combating harassment and violence in the workplace, it creates greater incentives for women to enter the labor market. So those are some of the areas that we are currently working on.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, last tip, any message for the young labor, especially women, on this Aquarian Labor Day?
Well, I think Labor Day is indeed an occasion to remind ourselves that many of the rights and many of the fundamental principles that today govern the labor market were not handed down to us, but were indeed fought for, and often over an extended period, and fought for very hard. And we should take the occasion of Labor Day to reaffirm our commitment to equality, to social justice, and to decent work for all.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you for your sharing your precious time.
Thank you.
Since 1947, Pakistan has stood as a committed member of the International Labour Organization, embedding fundamental rights into its constitutional fabric. From the bustling textile mills to the vast agricultural fields, the legal framework for labour is established to protect every worker. However, a significant gap exists between law and reality. Over 70% of Pakistan's workforce operates in the informal sector. Beyond the reach of traditional protections, limited inspection capacity and lack of digital records create immense hurdles for enforcement. In rural areas, child labour remains a challenge, highlighting the inconsistency between strong laws on paper and actual real-world conditions. To bridge this gap, the ILO provides strategic support, fostering social dialogue between the government, employers, and union leaders. Provinces like Sindh are now consolidating outdated rules into a modern labour code, with technical assistance from international standards. Through capacity building for inspectors, the ILO promotes decent work and strengthens the oversight necessary for lasting change. True progress requires more than just legislation. It demands effective enforcement, transparency, and a commitment to human rights. Together, Pakistan and the ILO are building a future of shared prosperity and social justice for every worker across the nation.